There was a bizarre incident, rather clever piece of a tactical ambush, essentially, by Gaddafi's people on the advanced elements of the rebels. What they'd done is bring some busloads of young men saying that they were people that they wanted to hand over to the east, young men from the east who'd been having a hard time in the west because they were being accused of being rebel sympathisers and so on. These young men may or may not have been legitimate, but what happened was that just as the first bus was being moved into the rebel-held territory, over the hill brow behind us, behind the buses, came about 30 vehicles and a lot of men armed with small arms and indeed the sort of anti-aircraft cannon you can see being moved behind me, Andrew, and they opened up on the rebels and on us, so we had to bug out, and we've withdrawn a certain safe distance now. We're at Ben Jawad, which is still at least unoccupied by Gaddafi's people, and the rebels are still here. Rebels have set up some blocks, but what was striking really during that apparent ambush, well, it wasn't, and it was a real ambush, was that the rebels ran. They didn't open fire, not even with their heavy weapons. They did have some anti-aircraft cannon of the sort you can see behind me, which would have been extremely effective against a party of infantry and mounted in vehicles such as we saw. And in fact, they didn't do anything. They just ran along with us. So there's definitely not as much vim in the rebel advance as we had assumed. They had travelled about 100 miles down the road at least towards Sirte because of the airstrikes. But now that the airstrikes are no longer on and Gaddafi seems to have switched tactics, so his people have, and now using infantry rather than very heavy weapons. And of course the infantry are much less vulnerable to attack from above.